Oh my gosh, did I write this episode this week? Because holy shit, I was freaking out as I was watching this freaking video, or I should say episode, and I was like taking my notes, and I was like, oh, what? I said that to her. What? Oh my god, is my name on this episode? Rest in peace, headphone users. Sorry about that. But seriously, guys, I was freaking out last night as I was watching this episode because I was like super spot on with a lot of these things. Like, I haven't been as good at calling an episode since the whole Galavan series or the Galavan storyline, when I was all like, oh, you're gonna do it. Like, that shit was crazy too. I'm not gonna do what I did in that episode where I went and took all my old videos and put them in this video. I was like, see, here's everything that I called. If you guys want to do that, you want to go through my old Jerome videos and be like, oh my god, Juice, you did call all of this, and compare it to this episode, be my guest. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to. I'm pretty sure all you guys have seen those episodes and they're all pretty recent, so you can go ahead and do that for yourself. But seriously though, like, let's just, oh my god. Okay, everybody thought Dwight was going to be like, going to bring back Jerome with Hugo Strange somehow. I was like, no, he's not. He's going to do the electrocution thing because that's what it was already shown. We did that. We talked about how I said this a long time ago that Dwight was going to be the person that cut off Jerome's face, and it was going to be something about maybe freaking Jerome doesn't come back to life when, you know, he does the electrocution thing, so he takes his face, did that, Jerome ends up coming back to life, and he freaking and this is the one that really got me though, because I was like, holy shit, it was almost spot on, was when Jerome came back to life. I told you Lee was going to leave the room for some reason, and she was going to come back, and Jerome was going to be gone, and she was going to be like, what the hell? And then bada bing, bada boom, hostage style. I was just like, what? I didn't say the hostage part, but like, I told you Lee was gonna leave the room, come back, and Jerome would be alive. Like, oh my god. That one just had me like on the floor. I was just like, what? Dwight coming up with the We Are Jerome thing. I told you he was gonna use that face and he was gonna try to take over the We Are Jerome crowd. And he went ahead and did that, and they took over the news thing, and he was just trying to be Jerome. He knew that the face of Jerome would give him that power, and he was going to want to be him because he loves him so much. Like I told you, he was going to be a super huge fanatic with that. What else? The whole Lee thing. A lot of people thought Jerome was going to wake up and kill Lee. That didn't happen. I told you she's a big part of the Batman storyline. They're not going to kill her. She's a big part in the comics. You know, he's her like liaison to the Narrows because she wants to stay in the bad neighborhoods. Of course, they're not really doing that in Gotham, but she's just a big part of the Batman storyline, so I knew they weren't going to kill her. But we did say that he was going to kill somebody, and I told you that Dwight wasn't on the next episode, so they were going to kill him. Also, about that, because that wouldn't have been necessarily true. Remember, a lot of you guys were tweeting me, Hugo Strange was going to be on this episode, or it might be episode 14. We haven't seen episode 14 yet, but everybody's like, see, Hugo Strange is going to come back. Hugo Strange hasn't even shown up yet, so you can't always believe the casting, because sometimes maybe they're just trying to throw you off, but we haven't seen Hugo Strange yet. I could have sworn he was on the casting list for episode 13, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was episode 14. But yeah, so Dwight wasn't on the casting for that, so we were like, you know what, Jerome's gonna go ahead and kill him for stealing his face. That is exactly what he did, and he did it in spectacular freaking fashion, and by blowing him up. Told you guys he was gonna blow somebody up, and that's what Jim was gonna be on the roof for, and we see that at the end of the episode where everything just explodes, and the whole city just goes dark. Like, this is gonna be badass because you have this whole Joker crowd. Jerome has told everybody to go do whatever they want, kill whoever you want, just cause a lot of chaos, and there are no lights. The whole city is dark, and it is just gonna be one crazy ass fucking episode for episode 14. And I gotta say, a lot of you mentioned this. I will have to say this is probably the best Gotham episode yet. Also forgot to mention the way Jerome found out about his face. I told you that what's-his-name was going to be broadcasting from the thing and Jerome was going to see it on TV. That's how he saw it. He was asking Lee, oh, I only have one thing left to do. Where's my face? We saw that, and he stapled his face on himself. I know I said that at some point as well. I don't know, guys. It was insane, and I'm sorry if I'm coming off of like, yeah, I told you guys. Like, I don't want to be like that at all, but my mind was just blown watching this episode, and we've talked about this. If we're talking about it on Twitter or, you know, in the comment section, I've been talking to you guys about this episode and, like, how I think Jerome's going to come back. and just seeing it come to life, I'm just like, what the fuck? From now on, you can just call me Detective Juice. You don't have to, but you could if you want to. But no, in all seriousness, guys, we did pretty much get the confirmation that Jerome is Joker. If he's not going to be the Joker, then, like, Gotham is just dumb, and they're just seriously don't know what the hell they're doing and deserve to be canceled. But he has to be the Joker. They blatantly showed you the Joker card right before they woke him up from his freaking cryo sleep. Like, it was a full-blown shot of a Joker card. Like, he has to be the Joker. It would be stupid if he isn't. And I know, like, the reason I'm bringing this up is I think he's the Joker. But there were these articles saying that producers are still saying that he's not going to be, or that, you know, that other guy is out there, which I think is complete garbage. But I think we are going to see Jerome be the next, you know, he is the Joker is what I should say. So, yeah, and like I said, if they don't do that, it would be really stupid. Also, we finally got the whole Court of Owls storyline, or what happened to the Indian Hill. We finally got that closed down and how Jerome actually got to this place. Because from my understanding, the way they made it look was it seemed like Jerome was actually, Dwight already had him. The way they cut the trailers and the way even the first episode went, it seemed like Dwight actually had Jerome wherever the hell he was, but he didn't. He was actually in some government warehouse where all of Indian Hill shit went, but that just proves to you, because as Gordon and Bullock were talking about, they're like, why the hell did the government just put all this shit here? They're like, I don't know, it's just what they did. Now we know how big the freaking reach of the Court of Owls is. They have people in the government that are actually making them change shit, because this is probably their other warehouse that they were talking about. They're like, get all the shit and move it to the other location. Well, they weren't able to do that, so they have this spot right here to put all these other people to do their Court of Owls shit. So that was just a good ending to the story, and like I said, that this is basically the story is done, guys. So the whole end of season 2 with the laugh track over like all the people coming out of the bus, which was clearly Jerome's laugh, and the guy in the robe obviously wasn't Jerome. So that was just something that Gotham dropped the ball on, and it doesn't make sense. But it doesn't really matter now because we have Jerome now. He's up, he's alive, and he seems like he's going to be a badass. But that one part at the end of season 2 just doesn't make sense. Let's go ahead and move on from the whole Jerome Joker storyline. If there's more, well, I'm going to elaborate more on that stuff in the next freaking trailer breakdown, because that's going to be all about Jerome, it seems. So, you know, you'll get more of your Jerome stuff later on. That freaking video will be posted in like 2 days or whatever. But let's go ahead and talk about the whole Penguin Riddler stuff. We see Riddler's plan continue to unfold. Barbara is actually a big part of it, where she was actually going to tell Penguin that you need to do this because the 5 families are saying things, blah, 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 blah. And Penguin tries to call her bluff, but she had a contingency plan where she had somebody call, and actually it's one of the guys, and they were saying like, oh yeah, we don't work for you, Penguin, anymore. You're soft or whatever. So they had somebody to actually make the story even more realistic to Penguin, and he's all like, oh, fuck. And they were like, oh, we got Ed, so, you know, fuck off. So this breaks Penguin even more, and he's just like, oh shit, and he sends out his whole team to go find out where Nigma is. Which leads to Penguin killing some of the families and Barbara killing the rest. They killed that one dude that made the phone call, they killed the rest of them that were alive, that were at the Sirens Club, and Penguin took out everybody else. So the only family that is left is Penguin and Barbara. Remember, Barbara wasn't part of the families at all, she just wants to take over, so Penguin is the one and only ruler right now. We saw later in the episode that Nigma calls, and he's all like, Oswald, I got away, I made a call, I'm at so-and-so, just hurry up and get over here. You know, he said something chemicals. He didn't say Ace Chemicals, he said something else chemicals or something like that, which I thought was really interesting. But anyways, we know on the next freaking episode, somebody's gonna die. Like, somebody is going to kill Butch. Or not, oh man, I just said Butch, but we noticed that Butch wasn't there. Butch could be the one that has Penguin, or Riddler, and freaking Penguin might kill Butch, and then try to kill Riddler when he finds out or whatever. It's gonna be really interesting to see what's gonna happen. Penguin's going to kill somebody. He had blood on his hands in one of those photos, so he has to kill somebody. It would be really weird if he has a lot of blood on his hands and he doesn't kill somebody. The synopsis even said that it might end in a deadly confusion or a deadly confrontation or something like that. Back to the whole Barbara thing, don't forget that I mentioned that I think once all of the families and everything are taken out and Barbara's gonna try to take over and Penguin falls, I think that freaking Fish Mooney is going to come back and rise. And I believe there is a new title about Penguin falling and a fish out of water or a fish rises or some shit like that. One of the titles for the upcoming episodes after episode 15, which is the Riddler one, I think it has the title Fish in it, so I believe that is when Fish Mooney might come back, and maybe she's gonna take over what Barbara is trying to conquer right now. Oh, girl fight! Okay, before we talk about Bruce and Selena, I just want to go ahead and give a little applause to Badass Lee. Yes, I think Lee is a badass. Some people believe that she is salty, and she has the right to be salty, although she kind of still loves Gordon. She just kind of like doesn't want to admit it, you know, how girls do sometimes. But anyways, I want to say that Lee was a badass. She didn't get scared or anything when a dude came back to life and had a gun to her head and had no face. She did not care. She was just like, oh yeah, yeah, you died, which time, this, that. Dude, girl, hold her own. And then she freaking gave that one dude the injection. She was like, he'll talk in like 5 minutes or something like that. Okay, bitch, out of here. I get shit done, bitch. Lee, man, I like you. I love me some fiery women. And Lee was just like, damn, in this episode. Finally, let's talk about Bruce and Selena. We found out that Bruce knew Selena's mom was a liar and she was just doing it for the money. And that was the only reason why Selena was actually, or the only reason why she came to see Selena. Bruce apparently saw that all the way through, like Batman would. Selena catches her mom in the whole act and of the bribe and trying to trick her or whatever, and she's like, don't ever come back to this city again, blah blah blah. She goes back to Bruce and she was all like, did you know? Did you know? And he was like, yeah, it was obvious. And then Selena is all like, oh, I hate you, your mom, and all, and I hate you, why'd you go, oh, freaking shit. And Bruce is all like, what up, what, he blocks everything like Batman would. And that starts the whole freaking Batman versus Catwoman thing that'll happen forever, and it usually ends in sometimes. That was just really cool to see, because that is exactly what is going to happen in the future. Batman is going to know about just plans that Catwoman won't know, and he won't tell her, and he will lie to her for better. Like, it's better to lie to her than tell her the actual truth sometimes. And when he admits that, it's usually going to end in a fight where they all freaking block each other. You know, sometimes he'll get the upper hand, sometimes she'll get the upper hand, but it's always just going to pretty much end in a draw, and none of them are going to be happy. That's pretty much all I got for this episode, guys. It was a really great episode, in my opinion. Like I said, it's probably the best episode they've done so far. Season 3 has been really good. I mean, I really enjoyed the Mad Hatter. I said he was better than Jerome until I actually got to see the Jerome stuff. And Jerome looks like he's going to be pretty crazy, and the next episode looks pretty crazy. There will be a trailer breakdown on Thursday. Wednesday is the Flash review, because that comes back this week. So, if you are waiting for that breakdown of the trailer, expect it Thursday. Schedule subject to change, as always. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this whole episode. Did you like Jerome? Did you not like Jerome? Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your Gotham buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, Juicebox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time.